The attackron. It's gone. Well, I mean, it's not really gone. Nobody's ever truly gone. But it has been nerfed. The great nerfing, the great era of errors that has been rolling out since the 10-year anniversary has resulted in, a complete meltdown of Swigger yesterday. So what I want to talk to you today, Tribe, is with CG having nerfed the attackron, is it still worth getting? And is it worth focusing on over all the other datacrons? Like before, people would just go absolutely buck wild trying to get as many attackacrons as they possibly could because, let's be honest, it was a little too broken. It was a little too powerful, and it kind of undermined the value of all the other datacrons that existed in this, frankly, phenomenal set of datacrons. So because CG is giving us this massive make good, they are reducing the cost of leveling up these datacrons, and they're giving us far too many reroll materials, I know that a lot of people are going to be curious about, should I still be focusing on attackacrons, or should I try and spread the love and get a few different things? Because we're about to be in a situation where everybody has got boatloads of datacrons. So first and foremost, I did a little bit of testing, a little bit of testaroo. If you remember, previously, when we used to go up against Hondo Crons, with like Ray and the attackacrons, it was a very one-sided affair. So let's go in with Ray, Ben Solo, Commander Ahsoka Tano. Who else would be useful? If we could get like Hermit Yoda to drop a buff, and maybe if we could get like Dash to put down a bunch of debuffs. Let's go ahead, grab ourselves the attackacron, and let's go just boatloads of armor penetration. Have I got one that gives me a boost to turn meter at the start? I don't think I do. Oh, I do. I mean, this one over here gives me a boost to turn meter at the start. That could be useful. And then we've got the attackacron, we've got some armor pen, we've got some crit damage. Let's see how it works before. So, now, before, it used to be, as soon as you get to that first ult, it's kind of game over for the enemy, right? You get to the ult, the enemy drops everything it possibly can do, and we all laugh and they all cry. So I'm passing the turn over to Dash here. I want to put out a bunch of debuffs on the team. That's going to raise up our armor penetration, I believe, under this datacron, and we're going to see what happens when we eventually get round to doing an ult. I'm using Commander Ahsoka Tano here because Commander Ahsoka Tano, of course, is going to be passing additional stats, offense, to Rey. Let's do a big hit, and this is an R9 Ben now. I've got R9 Ben because, it was so good. This used to, with the attackacron, decimate the team. So let's see what it does now. Yeah, it doesn't even, tickle them. Doesn't even tickle them. I'm going to place Master's Training on Rey. That's going to give her an extra 25% offense, which is nice. And let's try and keep Cat still in the game. Okay, so we should, by the time Rey's next turn comes around, we should probably have ults, which is nice. So we'll let them do their thing. This is the frustrating thing about Pirate King Hondo teams, is that if you let them take a turn, they are basically just going to fully heal the entire team. So you have to fully kill a unit, otherwise you won't kill anything. So we're going into ult. Normally, this would be, oh, it's game over. You're cooked. You're done, son. However, you'll see that's not really the case anymore. Even with Cat, even with Master Training on Rey, even with the enemy gaining additional turn meter, passing additional mastery to Rey, all that good business, we will see now that it's just not going to clear the field like it used to. It's probably not even going to kill a single unit, and that's the disappointing thing. So we'll just do a basic over here with Cat. Let's see how they get on. Yep, he's punched me in the face, and we're taking 1 damage because we are in ultimate. Alright. Great. Eventually we will take another turn. Stop laughing at me, Hondo. It's not very nice. Okay, so previously this would just wipe the board. Now, we just about killed Smee. Just about killed Smee. Now, this is not to say that this datacron is now useless. I don't actually think it's a useless datacron just because we can't one-tap an entire board of units. That was, quite honestly, too powerful. However, it definitely changes the dynamic around where we need to be focusing our datacrons on. Because quite frankly, this set has got some absolutely phenomenal datacrons. The support level 6 is great, the tank level 6 is great, and the healer level 6 is also phenomenal. Look at Rey just taking an absolute beating. If only they just, hit Ben once, they would have won the game already. Oh, poor Hermit Yoda. Poor Hermit Yoda going the way of the dodo. They have even given us a second ultimate, and I still don't think anything is going to change. I don't think this is going to result in any defeated units. Smee's even revived thanks to Pirate King Hondo's ability. We can't permakill anybody, of course. Ben just doesn't do really any damage anymore, which is really disappointing. But we'll see. We'll get around to a second ultimate, and it's still not going to do anything. Jack Diddley nor squat. We killed Smee, and Hondo's got his ultimate again, and he's going to revive Smee. Or he would, but we died before it even came into play. So, when it comes to re-rolling your materials for these new datacrons, the reason I have these, by the way, is because I didn't log in until after they stopped dusting people's datacrons, so I kept my old datacrons. That might end up screwing me, because I may well just not get a make good. I should get the 20,000 reroll max, but I probably won't get a bunch of free datacrons that other people are going to get, and they're going to have their old ones. So I'm going to be severely disadvantaged, I think, when this make good comes through, because I'm not going to get the things that everybody else gets, which is a shame. But there we go, c'est la vie. So, when you're looking at this new set, there are a couple of things that we also want to consider. For example, the healer level 6 over here, at the start of their turn, healers inflict heal immunity on all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or resisted. Whenever a non-healer character is healed by an ally healer, they reduce their cooldowns by 1. Whenever an ally falls below 25% health for the first time, all allies recover 50% health and 100% protection. The first time an ally is defeated, revive them with 50% health and 2 stacks of heal over time for 2 turns. Whenever a healer is critically hit, recover 15% health and protection, and grant a stack of heal over time to the weakest ally for 2 turns. This one over here is really flipping good in a number of teams, okay? The Barris level 9 is still really powerful, and this is probably where I'm going to be focusing my Ray teams on. Normally, I've been going like Ray, Ben, Ezra Bridger Exile with the attackron. I will probably go Ray, Ben, Barris now, because this heal immunity is going to be great. They're going to have to defeat Barris first. She's going, last. And as long as she's alive, she's going to keep everybody else standing. She's going to be topping people up. And if they do accidentally kill her first, she's going to give everybody 100% health, 100% protection, 100% turn meter, and 100% offense, which is kind of crazy. So Barris level 9 with a healer level 6. Try to get as much sort of health on this Cron as you possibly can when you get your reroll max in. Max that out, probably get the 15% max health and max protection. That's going to help you retain that bulk that you'll want to make it harder and harder to kill the team. So definitely try to focus on getting at least a couple of healer crons. Some other notable healers are going to be like Bo-Katan Mandalore using IG-12 and Grogu, for example. Night Sisters in 5v5 can still do really good stuff. And of course, you've got Old Daka as a healer for that team. So what else? Attacker crons are obviously good. Support crons. I've gone over a video already showing you how you can use Imperial Troopers to actually chew through and beat down Galactic Legends. They can take out Jabba units, they can take out Hondo units, they can take out Leia units if you play it correctly, right? This over here gives a massive boost in speed to your characters in your Imperial Trooper teams because they gain a bunch of buffs at the start and it lets you actually overpace a Galactic Legend, which is absolutely wild. If you can get this with a bunch of armor penetration, which is how I'm going to be re-rolling this, gonna re-roll probably the crit damage, all of the protection, all the tenacity and the protection, and I'm just going to look for as much armor penetration as possible because you want your punch bot to just punch through into different dimensions. The support, you want that wordy one because that's going to give you those buffs at the start. The buffs on basic is also going to be great for Imperial Troopers because whenever they're called to assist, they're going to get speed up on that basic, and that means they're gaining 10% additional turn meter for the team. It's great. So definitely recommend getting at least a couple of these support crons. Also works rather well in a Jabba team. Jabba is a support character himself. Placing evasion up and tenacity up on all your allies, as well as putting evasion down and tenacity down on enemies, is great. Tenacity down at the start of battle is just fantastic in general. And of course, we cannot forget about the tank level 6. The wordy tank level 6 is fantastic for characters like GL Leia, Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano, even JML. Now, JML is one I'm really going to focus on for this. This tank one over here means that the first time you kill a tank, like JML for example, he's going to revive with full health and protection and they get a bonus turn. They will also taunt every time an ally gets a debuff, and whenever they do taunt, they're going to be gaining defense up and stacking crit avoidance with 0 cap, so it's going to be harder and harder to defeat them. Whenever they get critically hit whilst taunting, they're going to recover 15% health and protection. Now obviously that's only going to happen for a short amount of time because you'll stack up enough crit avoidance eventually to never be crit, basically. And whenever a non-tank ally uses a special abilities, tank allies assist if the enemy was taunting, okay, and deal 250% bonus damage, which is really good. Having characters like GL Ahsoka Tano assisting, dealing bonus damage, JML bonus damage, Leia bonus damage, like this will actually really start hurting. When you get your reroll mats, highly recommend trying to get at least one datacron where you reroll all of these stats for boatloads of protection. If you can get like 90% protection on one of these datacrons, your JML is going to practically double his protection pool. Well, not really double his protection pool, but he's going to get a significant boost to his protection pool, which is going to result in even more damage with his leadership ability. Now, I would recommend getting a light side one for him and for GL Ahsoka Tano and for GL Leia. And for the light side, it's going to be a mix. Now, in my opinion, for JML, you actually want a 25% turn meter, not the 15% max health and protection. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but this 15% max health and protection doesn't actually contribute towards JML's inherited teachings. It doesn't increase the damage you deal with that. And typically, JML is not the fastest GL, okay? Generally speaking, he's anywhere between sort of 540, 565, that sort of range at the top end. And that's not enough for him to interrupt people like Supreme Leader Kylo Ren or Rey, well, probably Rey, or JMK, or even Lord Vader, right? So if you give them the 25% turn meter, they're going to have a big advantage versus characters like Hondo, versus characters like Lord Vader that can't get that 25% turn meter boost. That lets you get out the gate early, so you can do an early efflux, which not only strips TM from the enemy, if they can have it happen, but also boosts your own TM. That has huge amounts of value in a JML team. Conversely, I do feel like potentially teams with GL Leia, potentially teams with Ahsoka Tano, you probably want the bulk. You probably just want the extra damage stacking, right? You could go for some of these stacking buffs. I don't personally think it's worth it over the extra bulk or the extra turn meter. Try to get a splattering of both, I think, is probably the best approach, and go from there. So if I were to have a do-over, would I be focusing on trying to get like 12 attackacrons like I did this time? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This change has brought a lot more balance to the datacrons that we've got at the moment. So I wouldn't focus exclusively on the attackacrons. I would still get a good chunk of them, but do not sell short the tank crons and the healer crons in particular. I would still want to have some fun with the support crons. You can have a spattering of them, maybe 3, because I do think that they bring value, but I think the highest value ones are going to be the healer crons and the tank crons, and the attacker crons are still going to have their use, but they're just not going to be dominating like they were before. It's probably a good change, it's just the way CG went about doing it was probably a bit of a faux pas. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to about do it for this one. Let me know your thoughts on the datacrons down below. What are you going to do? Are you having fun with them? And I don't know, comment your favorite pet and why is it a cat? Because cats are awesome.